Hey, Erica.
Hey, Karen.
How are you doing?
I'm really enjoying this quarantine. How you doing?
It is so much fun, isn't it?
Oh, you can't get any more fun than this.
Hey, everybody. We are coming to you live from, well, we're Skyping live with each other, but we're just joining you in on our little conversation together. All of our recordings from this point until we get back to face stuff will be via Skype. So it's not going to be the quality sound that you're used to, but the content will be the same.
The same.
Awesome. Well, at least we think it's awesome.
We think it is.
So, what's this episode about today, Erica? Is it just going to be a mishmash of like
You know
what
what?
our plans are in the future here?
I think so. I think we should just talk about everything, like about what has been going on, talk about the stupid people out there,
We'll call
because
this
they're
episode Potpourri.
potpourri.
Erica and Karen Potpourri.
Potpourri, 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 potpourri.
Just before we started this, we thought, well, I mean, since it's like, in a whole new era with this COVID stuff, we thought maybe we should come up with a song.
We did, and I think for our next episode we should do the song, so that we have time to practice.
COVID.
COVID. That's the best is, when you think about it, I think back to all our adventures that we did last year, and we didn't even think twice about it. We just, you get in the car, you go to the States, and now it's
Uh,
going to take so long for people to get back to that.
it
So
is going to take a long time, and I don't think everybody. Well, I'm going to say everybody. That's not fair. I don't think a lot of people realize how long this is going to last, because
no,
I think we're doing a great job in Canada. I mean, we flattened the curve, and now we can actually curtail the cases, so it's not just like slowing down the cases here. We can actually, like I said, curtail it, like not just slow down, but stop even.
here's hoping. I still have seen a lot of stupid people though. Like we had to go to Costco yesterday, so we did a Costco run, just the two of us, wore masks, gloves, that kind of fun stuff. Costco was packed, and as soon as like from the entrance going in, it was about a 10-minute lineup. They give you a sterilized cart, well,
Are they
cleaned
are they not
cart.
limiting how many people can go in at a
Yes,
time?
so they're allowed 400 people in that store at once, and
Come, that's a lot.
but that's including employees. So you
Uh,
figure,
yeah,
or
okay.
they probably have at least 150 employees at a time. So basically, what they have is, skids, and you go through a like kind of like a maze. They give
Really?
you the cart, you're going through this maze, and then the lineup stops, and then they basically tell you, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to, take your cart, you're going to continue through the maze that they have set up going through, like into the front of Costco. You know how they have that cart corral inside?
Yeah, yeah.
That is an obstacle course as well. All the carts are outside. They have no carts
Oh,
inside.
so people just can't like walk into each other. It's like,
No,
and that way you
no.
can keep your distance front and back.
Right. But
Okay, that's
I
pretty
think
smart.
it's so smart getting into Costco. But once you're in, nobody respects boundaries.
Well,
Like
fuck
there were
you.
people coming right up to us when we were, you know, trying to get something. Like, wait a second. Like, fucking take a second. Let me grab, you know, a 12 pack of bread,
Yeah.
and then you can go and get your 12 pack of bread. Like, there's no, everybody still has that, hoarding mentality, which is crazy. Like, they have a
Fucking makes me
security
sick,
guard.
Erica. Ugh.
They have a security guard at the toilet paper.
Can, like, what?
You don't get diarrhea with COVID.
I just, I don't even know. Like, what kind of world? Everything I say is just going to sound dumb because there's nothing to wrap my head or our heads around the fact that when did fucking toilet paper become a live or die thing?
That's what I really don't understand. I think people need to realize that, you know, by hoarding all of these things, you're hurting other people. You're hurting, you know, people that you say that you love. Like, what do you need what do you need more than one pack of toilet paper for? Why do you need
Yeah.
more? Why do you need 18 bottles of Lysol? Why
Yeah.
do you need, 42 bottles of hand sanitizer? So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like right now at work, we're out of masks. All we have is gloves left and no hand sanitizer. But they expect us to go in there every day and handle everybody's fucking mail with nothing. So I have to bring my own stuff, and thank God I have it. But what about the person that's across from me?
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. It's making me crazy. Like Mary and I, we go out twice a week to get
Yeah,
stuff because thankfully we can still get fresh vegetables and fruits and those types of things. Perishables like milk, bread. And if
right.
we happen to see that there is toilet paper, even though if we're not out, we'll get it. Because if my son says, "Hey, mom, I can't find TP," well, I've got a pack. Not 150,000 packs, maybe one extra pack. If my neighbor
Right.
says, "Shit, I'm out of TP," I'll be like, I'll leave them at your front door. Here's a few roll. Like you and
But
I.
wait, is it
Like
a
if you,
shitty neighbor or a nice
no, a
neighbor?
nice neighbor.
Okay, good.
If it was a shitty neighbor, I'd leave them the used stuff. I would just like plop it. I wouldn't even
Good,
put it in
right.
the toilet. Here's your bag. There's still room on that piece for you.
Perfect. Done. That's amazing.
But
Karen's got a shitty neighbor. That's,
yeah, they get it. They get that corner that I didn't use.
yeah, fuckers.
But like even like you guys, if you're like, Karen, we can't find toilet paper, and we're far enough away from each other that our stores may have different stock, and you're like,
Yeah,
we're fucked. I'd be like, all right, let's go for a walk, keep our distance, and here's a couple rolls. But I mean, we don't have piles and piles of it, but if it's there, we'll take one pack, and then if someone needs it, but it's certainly if we got a surplus, we would stop.
of course.
If we had more than 3 packs of toilet paper, then we'd be like, no, we're good. But
Yeah,
that's
and
the thing.
people don't stop.
No, they don't. And I think the most dangerous out of all of this is medications.
Yes, I absolutely agree. Asthmatics, I mean, people who are susceptible to respiratory infections, like you're taking away, like, but here's the thing. My insurance company through work only allows you a 30-day supply. So let's say my doctor prescribes me a Ventolin
Yeah.
puffer or even a Symbicort. There's a certain amount of doses that come out of that. I can't get another one until I have like 5 or 6 doses left unless I want to pay full price and not go through insurance.
You see, some people, the doctors will give, I don't know, whatever, it's season, and they get seasonal
Allergies or
constricted, like it could be because maybe they have what do you call it, reactive airways in the winter because it's dry or something like that. So they'll
yep,
say, okay, here's one script and we'll give you 2 repeats on that. So what people are
right.
doing, and they might not even have used it for 2 months, they're going in and they're saying, I want it all at once.
Right.
So some people get 6 months of repeats or whatever. And you can go in and just get all those repeats. The only thing that stops you from doing that is if you're on insurance and they're like, look, we're only paying one a month. But if you're willing to pay cash, you can get all these. Now we've got a whole bunch of people. You saw, I wrote like a freak out on Facebook, and I don't usually do that,
Yeah.
but I was
No,
mad.
you don't. Yeah.
I was coming in hot because we've got friends.
She was coming in hot.
We have friends and family who are in need of these medications very badly, and just a regular cold can really cause problems. People with COPD, so they're rushing in. They're taking it a whole shit ton. People aren't getting enough. Look, if you just got your month's worth, okay, then everybody would get their month's worth, and there would be plenty of it. If the toilet paper hasn't taught you something about how it'll take weeks and weeks and even months, and you can't just pump out medications like you can pump out TP.
But shouldn't the pharmacies be putting a limit? Like, why aren't the pharmacies putting a fucking limit on it?
And I've got a huge problem with that. And maybe because initially they were just kind of shocked as well. They're like, fuck. Like maybe they just didn't see it coming, because I think a lot of pharmacies are doing that now that it's happened. And it all depends on like who's filling the prescriptions, and different things like that. But we're starting to see, but it's kind of too late for some people. They're going to have to wait too long to get it. Diabetics, okay?
Yeah.
People with lupus, because they've come up with this like quasi maybe might work with this bullshit medication that they're thinking might help with COVID that people are used to treat lupus with.
Yeah.
And now they're like, sorry, lupus sufferers, you're not going to get any right now because it might, tiny little, we're not sure, shooting fish in a pool, get this to work. And it's, can you imagine having a horrible disease like lupus?
No.
When it's you're barely able to function as it is on good days. I mean, on bad days. And now it's like, sorry, you can't get treatment.
And then what? Like, that's the thing I don't understand.
I'll tell you what's next is that the people with lupus and the diabetics and the asthmatics and the people with COPD all end up in the ER because they're very sick and they need to get treatment. And then they're mixed in with the people with COVID or the people panicking, thinking they have COVID. And now these really sick people may actually need a bed or an ICU bed to get better. And the hospital's already bunged up with people with COVID. And guess what? How do you choose who's going to fucking live or die? All because it starts at a very simple thing. Greedy fucking bastards only thinking of themselves, going out and buying up all this goddamn life-saving medication.
I couldn't agree more. And that's, that's the thing. And really, there's nothing to do to stop it right now. I mean, it's unfortunate.
There's no shaming people. There is no shaming people. The only thing that would get to people is if they've got like a fine or something like that.
Well, if they're giving businesses a fine and all this shit, why won't they give fines to these? Here's the thing. This is my thing. Seeing all these kids running around and doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Where are their parents?
They're at home being morons. They're probably going, these kids are making me nuts. It's, just let them go out for a little while. Oh, okay. Because you can trust teenagers, and teenagers are like, fuck COVID, man. We've got this. This is old people's. This is a boomer disease. What's the big fucking deal?
It's probably not even real.
And guess what? What is one of the things teenagers love to do the most? They love to fucking hug each other. Have you not seen that? Teenagers are all like, hug. Like, why are they always hugging each other? It's true. And they jump on each other's backs and they hug each other, and it's like, no, I mean, like
lick each other, and
they just hang out in like a park or something, and they all just like hug each other, and it's like,
but
what the fuck is wrong with you?
And that's the thing. But look at I was reading this article. A lady in the States somewhere went to a grocery store and spat on $37,000 worth of food.
Okay, that's
saying she had COVID.
Well, that's destruction of property.
Yes.
That's public nuisance. I mean, I'm sure we can come up with a whole bunch of things. Throw her in fucking jail.
Yep.
Here's the other thing. There was someone that said they had COVID and coughed in the face of someone. I can't remember if it was a grocery store or gas station or something like that, or a variety store. Now, that's assault. You should be charged with assault. And if that person were to catch it and die, that's fucking murder.
I agree.
And I think we need to really take this shit seriously. I'm not looking for martial law and us to live in these like lockdown states. But if you are intentionally hurting people, we need to redefine what assault is, what theft is. And there's a law in quarantine and when there is a state of emergency that it is against the law to hoard.
It's going to end up being martial law. And unfortunately, I'm not going to say that I don't think that this is needed, because people are fucked. Like, how can you say that, I'm going to, people ask you to stay home. So for example, when I got home from our trip, I said, I called my work and said, hey, listen, I just got back from the States. As you know, I was away. Okay. They said, stay home. Yeah. So I stayed home for 14 days. Yeah. So now here's a big problem. Actually, this is interesting. So I called my boss on Friday to say, hey, listen, I'm coming back tomorrow. He's like, oh, thank God. We really need you. We're down a bunch of people. So I said, perfect. So he calls me back 10 minutes later and says, we need to wait for a letter or a call from Canada Life, who's our insurance company, basically saying that you're okay to come back. Wow. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, they need to say that you can come back. And I said, for what reason? They Like, what are they supposed to say? I was never tested
Yeah.
for COVID. I never came into contact with anybody from Canada Life for them to call me and say, hey, listen, we need to test you because you were in the States, or we want to make sure you don't have a fever, this or that. So they're
And you weren't given
basically,
direction for that either. It wasn't like when you came
no,
back, your boss has said, okay, now you need to do X, Y, and Z. It's the next step, right?
right. So I said to myself, like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do now? Like, what am I? Oh, don't worry, just wait for a phone call. So they were supposed to call everybody this weekend, and they didn't.
Well, you can only do
To get
what
them
you
back
can
for
do.
Monday.
And
Like,
if you,
so guess what?
yeah,
That's it.
you're not working tomorrow.
Apparently not, but I have to get up because my boss was saying he might call in the morning.
So you're on standby, basically.
So basically, I'm on standby, and then I have to get my ass there.
Well, Erica, I'm sorry, and I extend my appreciation towards like what you're doing and what people that have to work or continue to do so. I mean, it must be really scary and shitty and stressful, beyond stressful.
It is, and that's the thing, that people aren't understanding is, you know, these frontline workers, number one, are most important. I mean, you as a nurse, me as a paramedic, both, not in those fields anymore. I mean, those are the number one people that are keeping everybody safe, trying to keep everybody alive. And then there's the, other essential workers. Like, is Canada Post really essential? Is it really important that you get that piece of mail?
Well, I guess it
No.
depends on what is being delivered, right? If it's goods and services or like goods, yeah. If it's personal mail, I don't think so. If it's like, like you
Is
said,
it a
like,
check that somebody needs to, help keep everything going? I absolutely understand that. So that I understand.
yeah,
But
like you're
then the
not talking
direct
about that
deposit.
stuff. You're talking about like more personal mail or things like that, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, I think we have to redefine frontline worker as anybody who is needed to keep people going. So, our people that work at the grocery stores, not so much gas stations because people aren't really driving much, but let's still say you need to get it. People still need to
Right.
get around. Postal workers, yes. So we had to redefine what a essential service a frontline worker is, and in going to the grocery stores, we make sure that we say like, thank you, because
Right.
the horror stories that are coming out right now are just
Brutal.
they're terrible. Just more on a, like a funny kind of light note, we
Yep.
walked up to a grocery store in Canada. No Frills is one of our grocery stores that have pretty good prices, and so we decided to walk up. And this little old guy, like, hunched over little old guy, cute as hell, with umbrella because it was raining, and a little cart. And he's walking up behind us, and he's like starting to boot it. And we're like, okay, we get out of the way and let him walk by. And he goes, I'm not going to run you over. And we're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. We're slower. You go ahead. But he wasn't getting it. He was like slowing down to talk to us. And then he puts his umbrella and he's like, come under here with me. And we're like, no, we're okay.
We don't want to get that close.
Yeah, like we gotta all respect this, right? And we didn't say that. We're just like, no, we're slow. You go ahead. And then we get to the grocery store, and they're letting people in slowly. They're counting how many people are in. So we get there, and of course, as soon as you walk in, everything is wiped down, and you're not allowed to bring in outside bags or anything like that. You get the bags that they give you.
Yeah.
And so we're just looking for a couple things, and he said to the person walking in, he's like, oh, I'm just here to get some flour. And the lady goes, well, we don't have any flour. And he's like, what? Like, little man, where have you been? Like, seriously, where have you been? So we walk around, and there was like 4 packages of flour. And I was like, okay, good, because we're getting low. And I don't know. I think every Canadian's making lots of banana bread right now. I think it's a thing in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we had made a few things of banana bread, and we only had a bit of flour left. So we're like, and we know flour's been
Prove it,
flying off
Karen.
the shelves, right? So we took there was 4 bags. I grabbed 2 because I was gonna find him and give him 1. So
Which is nice of you. Like, that's a nice, respectful thing to do during this time.
well, I mean, probably I don't know, maybe because I touched it, maybe it wasn't so smart, but I was sort of offering him like, here you go. And he goes, no, I want the big bag. And I'm like,
but there is no big bags,
there's
buddy.
no big
so
bag.
Take the small
this is it.
bag.
And so I'm just like, all right then. And I just thought, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't understand what people are thinking now. Like,
it's like, you can't, beggars can't be choosers right now. Like it's just, it's insanity. I mean, there's funny stuff that comes out of this, but there's just so much scary stuff. I'm really afraid for the U.S. I am incredibly afraid for them.
I have to agree. Karen and I, just a quick thing. We'll talk about it maybe on another episode, but Karen and I returned from the States.
Erica, I can only see your ceiling. You know that, right?
No. I thought you could hear me better if I put the speaker like closer to my mouth.
Okay, that's okay. No. If you sounded the same either way, but there you are. Because I'm like looking at your ceiling. I'm like,
where is she? What's she doing? So, Karen and I have been back. Well, technically, right, 15 days.
15 days, yeah.
So, we're done our self-isolation, and we were in South Carolina for 3 days, and then the last 3 days of our trip, we were in New Orleans, and New Orleans has been hit so fucking hard by this COVID-19. So, while we were there, people were taking it pretty lax. Do you agree? Like,
yeah,
not, we were like, what do you guys think about, just asking people that worked in the stores, oh, don't worry about that, and
we were, we were feeling like we talked about, like, I think we need to be going home. Like we were, at that point of, this is really,
it's getting big. And, with all the news we were hearing back from like family and friends back home, we were like, what do we do? Like, let's leave early in the morning, which is what we did.
We got up 3 and we were home 22 hours later. Right?
Yeah, we killed it. We drove straight through. We had pee breaks, and even when we stopped for food, we literally got drive-through and kept driving.
Yeah.
So, I mean, seeing the news of so now being home, and like basically we kissed the ground as soon as we crossed the border, but we didn't have a bad border crossing.
We were the only ones there.
Yep.
And the lady was, she was having a nice chat with us.
She was. And she did ask us some questions.
Yeah.
But there was no testing to see if we had fevers. There was no. Anything. She asked if we had coughs. We said no. Fevers, no. Okay, well, you guys have a good day. Welcome home. And it's like, it's scary because now that we're home and we see the news, it's really fucking bad in the States.
Oh, okay, so I put out the episode on the 24th or the 25th, and I was speaking of stats as of that day. So
right.
as of the 23rd, okay, so what's today? 29th? 30th?
It is 29th.
29th, okay. So 6 days ago, the States had 35,000 cases. Today, they have 135,000. 135,957. Since midnight, okay? And what time is it now? 3:20. So in 15 hours, they've gotten an additional 12,379 cases.
Now, I think what people need to understand, to be honest, is...
Now, this is not... I'm honestly trying not to our country's better than your country. I'm not trying to do that. There's a method behind my madness here. Canada, we have 6,258 cases in total. No new cases today so far.
I mean, but look at the difference in government, And
that's, what I'm saying is that, like, they have more people. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're more spread out, but our big cities are our big cities. And I tell you, if Toronto got in Montreal and Vancouver, and like all our big epicenters,
Yep.
got hit hard. We could be New York in a second. But I am really proud how we've handled this as a whole as Canadians. And this is not a slight against the American people, because there's just as many douchebags
Yeah.
in the US that are going, like young people or people that are disregarding it. I mean, per capita, I'm sure we have pretty similar numbers of people are going, I'm fine, it's not a big fucking deal, right?
Yeah.
But the population is different. And the fact is, we don't have a leader that is acting like such a doofus. Like, this guy is scary. He's a psychopath.
He's a psychopath. Telling everybody that they're going to be able to go to church on Easter to congregate everybody together. Like, what are you doing, man?
You realize he's killing his country with his bullshit.
Yep.
Like, he's
Yep.
killing his country by saying, oh, okay, you know what? We all need to go back to work. There's going to be some bloodshed, but this country is built on hard work. Well, I don't think it's going to be your bloodshed or any of you multi-billion millionaire capitalists that are high up in your office hidden away from everybody else. It's going to be the workers that are down lower that are the ones whose blood is, you're willing to shed their blood. Well, what a goddamn glorious position you're in. Aren't you privileged? Because I look at this as a mass genocide as well. Because who's going to die in this when he is not taking care of his people? Who's going to die? The very poor. The very poor are going to die because they can't afford insurance. They can't afford to not be at work. They have to. They're the ones are the very poor, and nurses and doctors. They've become frontline, and they're the ones that are dying from this disease.
Karen, I just want to interrupt you for a sec just to tell you, this just came up on my phone I follow CP24, which is our news channel here. And it actually does, just from 2 minutes ago, it says Ontario today has confirmed 211 new cases of COVID.
Holy shit. Okay, well, there you go.
Including 2 new deaths.
Okay, so there we go. I found the number that I was looking on this site. It was maybe not up to date to have no new cases, unusual. But okay, so 200 versus 12,000.
Yeah, like. So, but I mean, here's the thing that I want people to understand. So they've tested all these people. So right now, it says the backlog now stands at 7,203 people. So these people have been tested.
What about the ones that haven't been?
Right.
Sorry,
but they're waiting for. That's okay. They're waiting for these test results. So once these test results are confirmed, then that's how the numbers rise.
But here's the thing, is that they're choosing who they test and don't test. They're like, oh, well, it sounds like you have it. Go home and sleep. So the numbers are a lot bigger than what is being told.
Right. I absolutely agree. Yeah. And it's a scary thing. I mean, you know, I think we all just have to remember that, remember what our country wants us to do. You know, you claim you love your country so much, follow, what people are saying, especially healthcare workers. Stay home, stay safe, make things up to do for fun. I mean, nobody's saying don't go outside, go in your backyard, play some games, go do something, but for Christ's sake, just stay home. Like you're by you staying home and sitting on your couch and watching Tiger King, you're saving people's lives.
It's true. Seriously. I mean, okay. We've talked about all the negatives of this, and it goes on and on and on about all the horrible negatives of this. So this is a big fucking deal. This is a huge deal. People are, the worst of human beings are coming out. There's people that I could totally go all vigilante on and not feel bad about in any way. But Mary, my wife, has worked since she was 16 years old. She's been a business owner for many, many years and a hard fucking worker. In the last 2 weeks, feels like she's human again because she's like worked for so much and so long. Like she's actually starting to feel like, do you know what I'm saying? Like her health in one sense is recovering. And we're taking this time where we're doing a bit of yoga every morning and going out for walks away from people, but still, and trying to eat better. And we haven't had takeout in ages. And it's like, we can recoup some bad habits that we take because life is so busy. endangered animals that people haven't seen in years are coming out of forests and walking through towns, and it's like, holy shit. And you
Yeah.
know, the river
The
in
ozone layer's healing itself.
yeah. So I mean, uh as awful as this is, and it really is awful, we're not the only fucking we're not the only beings and living creatures
No.
on this earth.
No, we're not.
I have even said that if you look at what a virus or a bacteria is, it's what something that takes over a living thing and kills it and uses it to sustain its own life. In a sense, we've kind of been like bacteria to this earth, like a virus to this earth.
Yeah.
And now that we're being killed off, so to speak, I'm using very crude language here. The other part is healing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you got to look at it kind of from both sides. This is absolutely horrible, but maybe, like, you know, the world needed something to happen. You know, like, it's
We can look at it from a spiritual perspective, a Darwinism perspective. We can look
Yeah.
at it from
a religious perspective,
yeah,
even
like so many, or like a scientific perspective. I think when it comes to science, we know exactly what we're talking about in terms of the fact
Yeah.
that this is a real virus, this is a real disease, this is killing us off, this is making us very ill. So there's our scientific perspective, and then you can look at it as a bigger picture and say, look, why are things healing and getting better as other things are not, are getting unwell or dying? I mean, if we don't get the message, if we can't look for a deeper meaning in this other than, oh my God, I need to stay alive and hoard guns and hoard toilet paper and food and drugs and just take care of number one, because that's all that matters is me and mine and fuck you all. That's how things got to where they are now.
absolutely.
So for those of us that are going, hey, I've got some extra stuff that I can share. Hey, I can go out, and that's one less person out. I can pick some stuff up for you. Hey, let's have some phone calls and play games and whatever. In doing that, we're becoming closer to our families and loved ones. I guess some people are ready to kill each other, but I mean, it's given a
I'm
whole.
one of those people.
It puts a whole new perspective on things if you choose to look at it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
And
I go from raging and wanting to, like, you know, tear up and go all vigilante on people to like, fuck, I'm lucky.
peace and love.
I'm really, peace, one love, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. And, you know, I think to, like, you know, round this up, everybody just do your part. I mean, nobody's asking you to, you know, give away your firstborn or anything. Just do your part. And if you do your part, you're going to help so many people you don't even realize. And just watch your damn kids, especially the teenagers who are running around like idiots. I've seen so many, and trust me, I have 2 at home. These kids have not left the house in 2 weeks. And you know what? We're ready to kill them. They're probably ready to kill us, but you know what? They're doing the right thing. And
Good for
it
them.
took them.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, it took maybe a week for them to realize it. I mean, there was battles, but you know what? You're not going anywhere, and we're not going anywhere either. We're all going to sustain ourselves. You know, we're going to feed you guys, and that's not what you have to worry about. But
Yeah.
I mean, you
And
know,
let's give some shout outs and some thoughts, and however we want to do, like whether you throw out energy into the universe or whether you pray or whether you just put some decent thought into it, to those people that are stuck at home with abusive family members.
yeah,
Okay, so let's put out shout outs and send love to women and children, or that
a
are
lot of love. Absolutely.
that have nowhere to turn. And if we
Yeah.
can do anything, let's do it. And you know, in the best way that we know how, whether it's like even reporting it and finding a way to help these people out, or if we know of people that need food and or any kind of care, any kind of reaching out, even if it's us making a phone call, let's think of those people as well. And of course, all of our frontline workers. Like I can't thank you enough. There are no words for that. You guys are everyday fucking heroes, man.
Yeah. Not all heroes wear capes.
That's right. And Eric and I are going to keep trying to give you some of our best, most ridiculous content. We're going to still come at you with the stories. I put out a kind of a call to arms to say, hey, what do you guys want? Do you want still regular stat type episodes with crazy doctors and nurses and different things, history, medical history and that? And we got a resounding yes, but also with a bit of this COVID stuff thrown in, whether it's up-to-date information or I think we've decided that we're going to do placebo effect on funny, stupid people and COVID.
Yeah, I think it's going to be in a song.
And a COVID song that's maybe not too offensive.
No. Well, I mean, it's going to offend some, but oh well.
Oh well.
Take it as you will.
We've got the best listeners in the world. I think we'll be fine.
I know.
Okay, so well, this is sort of, I guess we call this the COVID stat update of where we're going to be, our potpourri update of where we're going with this, and we're going to just keep pumping these out, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep pumping them out. I mean, honestly, why not?
Yeah.
You guys are going to run, honestly, you're going to run out of Netflix shows, so you're going to be like Stat and Chill.
Yeah, Stat and Chill. That's cool. And I've never done a podcast from bed before, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah. There you go. Erica's got like one hand over her head. She's posing. She's got like a fur blanket on her. She's wearing a smoking jacket.
I am. Pipe in my mouth.
She's got a cravat.
Yep.
Oh, and I don't know why you have that diamond topped cane though. And the Mr. Peanut monocle. I don't think you needed that.
I think it makes me look fucking classy with my caftan underneath my smoking jacket. We'll post a picture of the caftans I'm talking about, right, Karen?
Yeah, we will. Or actually, yeah, I have that on my phone.
So do I.
That was back in our careless free days. We were like
careless free,
romping around stores and putting on every piece of clothing we could think of.
Who doesn't miss those days?
Yeah. Okay, Erica, amazing talking to you. And
same to you.
Here you go, guys. Here's our
safe.
Next episode. You know what's up and coming, and don't feel free. Don't feel free to ask for anything because we're screw you. No, feel free to give some episode suggestions. Okay. So take care, and remember to take care of yourselves, one another, love yourselves. Peace, one love.
Bye, guys.
Bye.